On a humid summer morning, June 30th, 1999, a farmer in rural St. Charles County, Missouri, noticed something unusual in his cornfield. About 30 miles west of St. Louis, he spotted what looked like a human body lying face up in the dirt, partly decomposed under the blazing Midwestern sun. The discovery would soon lead to one of the most baffling unsolved mysteries in modern American history. A mystery that even the FBI, with all its cryptanalysts, mathematicians, and top code breakers, still can't solve to this day. The man's name was Ricky McCormick, a 41-year-old from St. Louis. Ricky wasn't famous. He wasn't rich. He didn't have enemies, or at least none anyone could find. He was just a quiet, somewhat odd man, living on the fringes of society, with a troubled past and a handful of secrets. He didn't own a car, barely had a job, and lived most of his life between cheap motels and the homes of relatives. He was known to be kind but strange, and people around him often said Ricky wasn't quite right. He had learning disabilities, and by many accounts, could hardly read or write. And yet, when police examined his body, they found something that didn't make sense. In the right pocket of his jeans were 2 pieces of paper, filled from top to bottom with a bizarre jumble of letters, numbers, and symbols, forming what looked like a secret code. Rows upon rows of indecipherable text, WLDNCBs, NCBX, SPRLSE74, DNC, phrases that meant nothing to anyone. There were no complete words, no known language, no obvious pattern. At first, detectives thought it might just be gibberish, the meaningless scribbles of a man struggling with mental illness. But when the papers were sent to the FBI's Cryptanalysis and Racketeering Records Unit, the experts immediately realized this wasn't random. It had structure, it had patterns, it had repetition, it had intent. Someone had taken time to write this, and it followed a logic, one that no one could understand. For months, then years, the FBI worked behind the scenes, trying to decode Ricky McCormick's final message. They ran every analysis tool available in 1999, frequency counts, pattern recognition, linguistic modeling, even comparing it to known criminal ciphers used by gangs and smugglers. Nothing matched. So who was Ricky really? He was born in 1958, a quiet, thin man who grew up in the rough neighborhoods of St. Louis. His early life was difficult. His parents struggled financially, and Ricky dropped out of school early. He had several minor run-ins with the law, often related to unemployment, petty crime, and a few suspicious dealings with unsavory people. But none of that explained the code. Ricky's family told investigators that he had a strange habit. He often carried scraps of paper with him, filled with symbols and letters that only he seemed to understand. He would jot them down randomly, on napkins, envelopes, anything he could find. When asked about them, he'd say they were his notes to himself. His girlfriend at the time, Sandra, told police that Ricky often disappeared for days, coming back with strange stories about people watching him, about deals gone bad, and about a trip to the country he never wanted to talk about. In June of 1999, Ricky vanished again. The last time anyone saw him alive was June 25th at a St. Louis hospital, where he went for a checkup for his chronic chest pain. From there, he disappeared. 5 days later, his body was found 60 miles away, in a field he had no reason to be in. He didn't own a car, he didn't drive, and no public transport could have taken him that far. So how'd he get there? And perhaps the bigger question, what did those coded notes in his pocket mean? Over time, the case only grew stranger. When the FBI released the cipher to the public in 2011, 12 years after his death, they hoped the crowd might solve it. Thousands of amateur codebreakers, cryptographers, and puzzle experts tried to decode the mystery. Websites and Reddit threads exploded with theories. Some claimed it was a simple substitution cipher. each letter standing for another letter. Others believed it was shorthand for places, phone numbers, or chemical formulas. A few thought it could even hide coordinates or names of people involved in something bigger, like a drug ring or secret operation. But the biggest twist came when the FBI itself admitted they had no idea what the code meant, and no one could confirm if Ricky even wrote it himself. His family, however, swears that he did. His mother once told reporters, Ricky couldn't spell, but he always wrote his own secret notes. He'd hide them. He said they were for his eyes only. That detail made things even more confusing. If Ricky couldn't spell or read properly, how could he create a code that's complex enough to stump professional cryptanalysts for over 2 decades? Unless he didn't create it alone. Investigators quietly looked into Ricky's last known connections, particularly a man named Gregory Knox, who was suspected of running drug operations between St. Louis and Illinois in the late 1990s. According to unsealed files, Ricky might have acted as a courier, moving packages or messages across state lines. Could those coded notes have been instructions or contact information related to those activities? If so, it would explain why the writing made no sense to outsiders. It was never meant to. It could have been a mixture of abbreviations, numbers, and initials only Ricky and his contact understood. But if that's true, it also raises a darker question. Did someone kill him to keep that code secret? Detectives revisited the autopsy report. There were no gunshot wounds, no stab marks. The cause of death was officially listed as undetermined, but there were inconsistencies. The decomposition didn't align with the time he was reportedly missing. Some experts even suggested he could have died elsewhere and been dumped in that field later. But here's the most chilling part. In 2023, a new lead surfaced from an independent journalist who claimed to have accessed partial FBI notes suggesting more coded papers were found in Ricky's motel room after his death, but never released publicly. If true, that means what we've seen might only be a piece of a larger message. A hidden system of notes written by a man who either knew too much or was trying desperately to warn someone about what was coming. The cornfield where Ricky was found remains empty today. Locals say sometimes, on still summer evenings, you can still see faint police lights reflecting across the field, a ghostly echo of that unsolved morning. And in the archives of the FBI's unsolved cases, his name remains there, beside a single haunting line. The Ricky McCormick Code, status unresolved. 2 pieces of paper, 26 years of silence, and one question that no one can answer. Was it just the ramblings of a troubled man, or the final message of someone silenced for what he knew? If you think you can solve it, the FBI still has the cipher posted online. And maybe, just maybe, the key lies in something Ricky left behind that no one has noticed yet. Because sometimes the truth isn't hidden. It's encoded right in front of us. This was the Ricky McCormick Code, a mystery the FBI can't crack. If you're fascinated by real, unsolved mysteries, hidden clues, and chilling cases the world can't explain, subscribe now to Whispers Unsolved, because tomorrow's story might just be even darker.